Conor, thanks for joining us, mate. As you know, I've been drafted in last minute. The lads have taken the piss with the fact that I've got a free schedule, and now I'm working on Sundays. So, yeah, times have changed.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. How are you doing though, mate? You okay?
I'm good. Yeah. I said to you before, I feel like this should be all about you, really. Given the week of attention you've had and that you love, but yeah, I'm good. We played Northampton last night. Great game, gnarly loss. So feeling a bit sore and sorry for myself today, but it was a great game. Good one to be part of. I was injured for a while, so good to be back out there. Basically, yeah, happy out.
Oh, 100%. When do you boys go into camp? Do you start on Monday? Is it
Monday at 9 o'clock. So yeah, so like I live in Limerick, so we have to be in Dublin at 9 o'clock, and Dublin is obviously mental traffic, so probably literally got to leave about 6 or 5:30 to get up to camp. So those admin days, sponsors, photo shoots, all that crack on Monday. But yeah, happy to be involved.
So this is just what you want to be doing, mate, just before you go into camp. But, mate, we appreciate it. We'll dive straight in, mate. So obviously Simon Easterby's taken over. I think I speak for a fair amount of people in saying that, he's a guy quite hidden. You don't know much about him. So what's he like, mate? What's his comms been like with you? How's he been?
So he's a great guy. Obviously he's our defence coach. He's a big part of our group anyway. He's got experience with being a head coach with Scarlets, but I think it'll be we're going to miss Faz regardless. You know Faz, and it'll be a big responsibility on Simon and everyone else. But Si's just such a part of the group. There's Faz is, as you know, quite funny and brings the group together with humour, or with the rugby stuff aside, just creates that kind of environment, and Si is a big part of that already. So I know that the respect for Simon's there, with Paulie, with John Fogarty, and all the backroom staff. They'll all they'll pull together and try and make it as seamless as possible, because Faz is such a figurehead for us for a long time now. But Si's a great fella and well able to step in, hopefully. You know what I mean? It's going to be a big challenge, and I think I was thinking about this, people might see us as quite vulnerable or an opportunity, that might be part of people's chat, that Andy's gone and blah blah blah. So Si and the rest of them will be up for it.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna put it out there, mate, and say that in my prediction I didn't have Ireland at the top this year, for that very reason. Sorry, brother. I just got to keep it real. But
that's okay. That's
yeah.
all right.
I think it's because of Faz, mate. I think, like you said, he is such a charismatic bloke, and he makes the team or teams that I've been involved with him so much better from being the person that he is. So I think he will be a big loss for you boys. But in terms of who is Simon Easterby more like, is he more like Schmidt or is he more like Faz? Or is he his own bloke completely?
He'd be, with respect to both, he's more like Faz. I think Faz, Joe was brilliant for us. Like, we had such success under Joe, and it was just a different type of environment. It was probably a tighter, like maybe more stressful environment. And I think Faz just the standards are still the same that are expected of us, but Faz kind of just loosened it up in terms of I don't know, maybe just being able to have a bit more fun, relax a little bit, or especially young lads feeling comfortable to speak up, and Si has been there throughout all that. So he's his meetings are funny too. I keep talking about how relaxed it is, because the rugby side of things is always really high standard. It's the kind of, yourself with Faz, the off the pitch stuff, or just the kind of chilled out environment. I think it brings the best out of people. So Si's been part of that for years. So he's more like Faz, and he's funny, and he'll be a good figurehead, to kind of continue that with Paul O'Connell, with John Fogarty, with everyone else as well. So no, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think a lot of people underestimate how much the off the field stuff impacts how you play. Like, I remember when Eddie first came in, obviously we had the stinker at the 2015 Home World Cup, and we were kind of not locked away, but it was very we were pretty contained in what we could and couldn't do. And then Eddie came in and all bets were off, and it just made the group so much closer and so much better. So I think a lot of the time people don't appreciate how much the freedom just giving lads to do their own thing makes a difference on the pitch.
100%.
But with regards to Faz again, sorry mate, I don't want to keep going on the same point, but do you reckon he'll still be in touch with you boys? Will he be in touch with, Simon, all those guys throughout the camp, or do you think he's fully focused on his other role and that's it? It must be a tough situation for him. I don't know the answer.
Yeah, I don't know the rules with the I know that they obviously can't coach, but like I don't know, like is he allowed to talk to them? I'm sure I would imagine they'd be in touch in terms of what's going on, but yeah, like Lions is such a big role for Andy, and in terms of getting that right and getting, you've obviously been on them, like the logistics around the tour and how much he's going to be involved in that, and I'm sure he's probably gone to Australia already and done all that kind of stuff, so that's a big deal for him. But then he's so involved and he's such a big part of the Irish setup, it would be hard not to think they'd be chatting from time to time, or else Andy, he might just want to leave Simon to it. There's probably enough pressure on Simon now in terms of taking over that he might just let him run the ship and come back in after the tour. So Andy's really like emotionally intelligent, so like I'm sure he'll do what's best for Simon, for the other coaches, and for the Irish team, and he'll respect obviously what he's doing with the Lions too. So roundabout way, I have no idea what he's going to do. I don't want to say what Andy Farrell's doing. He's scary enough anyway.
Oh, 100%, mate. I remember when I was with, again, the Lions in 2017, mate, and he was screaming at me to get onto my wing after we had a huddle, and I was dying with my Achilles at that point as well. I was like, bro, please,
yeah, I remember.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, but if that man tells you to run, you'll snap it if you have to.
Bro, I'd high kneed over to that edge quicker than you could say.
Perfect form. Your highest speed of the game, probably.
100%, bro. But mate, I've got some nausy scrum-half questions that Lenny's told me to ask that I'm unfortunately going to have to sit here and pretend like I'm interested.
Of course, they've come from Lenny. Nice. Yeah. You just want the ball off us, really, don't you?
Yeah, mate. Just give me the ball, mate. Let me run, please. But
get you that hat trick.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Jamison Gibson-Park is a pretty key figure in the squad, yourself as well.
Yeah.
But slightly different styles of play, I think it's fair to say. But what do you think makes him so good? And how do you think he's kind of like brought his game on over the last 2-3 years?
Jamison is he's a top class player. I think like if I think he's in his prime and he's flying it, and maybe years ago if I was younger or whatever, I'd find it hard to say, but I just kind of, you have to appreciate when someone's literally on top of the game. When he moved to Ireland, he was obviously playing with Leinster. He was behind Luke McGrath, and not that you weren't thinking about him too much, but you're like, oh, that'll be, I know he's Irish qualified soon, and that'll be a while away. But I think, I don't know, scrum halves are weird. Like, we're not really position haters. I think that we genuinely get on. When he came into camp, he's a gent. Get on really well with him. He's really respectful. When I was starting, when he came in, and then when he started starting, there's that respect there, and we work really, really well together. I think what makes his game, so I think he's naturally class. He's just like, he's got all the skills. He's got unbelievable vision. You see him link up with James Lowe all the time with Leinster in terms of that, relationships with wingers, like you'll know of, and he's just gotten more. I haven't asked him, but I presume he feels more comfortable in the group over the last few years. And Andy, again, we go back to him, just letting lads be themselves. And if you're yourself off the pitch around the group, you've a good chance you're going to be yourself on the pitch when the pressure's on. So no, Jamison's been brilliant. I think there's no dancing around it. He's been class, and if DuPont wasn't such a freak, Jamison would be right up there as one of the best around, and he is, but he probably would be the best if your man didn't come from space.
For sure. Is he as chilled out as he looks?
Yeah,
mate, the bloke looks like he's flipping 3 whiskies deep when he's playing. He's literally like he's playing in the park.
Yeah, it really is. He is off the pitch as well. Like, that's what I said about Faz letting you be yourself. Jamison is like that. He is ultra chilled out, like just breezy, like just chills around the place, floats through. But he has all his work done. Like, don't be fooled. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, he's an unbelievable professional. I suppose, you know, he works so diligently that he's, you know, by the time the game comes around, he's able to look chilled out, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, he's done all his bits. You know, he's constantly chatting to the other nines. We're always chatting. He's chatting to, you know, his wingers, his centres, everything, just to get across everything. And then by the time the game comes around, he looks horizontal, but he's pulling off things that are quite difficult to do.
For sure. Well, Lenny will appreciate all of that, mate. So thanks for that, brother.
Is Lenny coming back in the fold, is he?
Oh, yeah, mate. He'll be reviewing this as soon as he's off the pitch, trust me. He'll be critiquing me. But, mate, on to something that we know pretty well. I think how many Lions tours have you done? 3 or 4?
3.
Like
I've done 3.
Years,
I know. Yeah. Sick of me. So, yeah, 3.
3. So this year would be the 4th then, potentially. Obviously, mate, as you know, going into Six Nations, if you get asked in media, everyone will be talking about Lions this. And
yeah.
85% of people give the stereotypical not thinking about it, just worried about it. But I can say from my perspective, mate, deep down, whenever the Six Nations before the Lions came, I was thinking about the Lions. And I don't want to put you in a tough spot here, but is that something that you're thinking about this summer? Or like, do you think that the other lads will be thinking about it? Did you think about it before? Like,
I thought about it all the time, yeah. It sounds, I don't know, does it sound selfish or not, but it's like, you know it's there. Everyone knows it's there. You get into camp and I'm sure you've done like the Lions send the jerseys over for the headshots, you know, like when you're in camp. Like, so you put on the jersey in like the week before the Six Nations or whatever it is. So like, it can't not be in your head. Like, that's just the nature of it. I think for the first 2, I gave those answers like, oh, just focused on, you know, what's in front of me, which you are. There's no like, you're not forgetting about what, like a Six Nations or whatever. But the last tour, I don't know, I just felt more comfortable saying that I'm thinking about it. But you know what I mean? Of course you do. It's like it's one of the biggest privileges you can have as a rugby player. So yeah, it's there. But I think, I don't know how you go about it. Like you can't start going off on your own and trying to like put in big like your own performance. Like you still gotta play for your country, represent your country, and you know, if you do that well, then hopefully you play well and everything else will happen. So you do all that. You be professional. You be obviously respectful. Like you're playing for your country. There's still nothing bigger than that. You know, the Lions tour is something completely different. But yeah, everyone thinks about it. Like for my situation, like I've been lucky enough to bid on 3. If a 4th ever did come out, I don't know what the setup is or the chances are, but you know, I'm just trying to play well. I got back from injury recently after November, missed December and got back for the last 2 weeks, and just trying to be fit and be involved with Ireland and play for Ireland. You know what I mean? The end for me is soonish. I don't know when it will be, but it's sooner rather than later, and just want to play for my country. And then if something like that did happen, then amazing. But no, I've been very lucky so far. So what will be.
Well, 100%, mate. I agree. I think, mate, the thing is, I was speaking to Lenny about it as well, is that you know what these Lions tours are like. You need experience. So I don't think it's unreasonable to suggest that your name will be very, very close, if not definitely going, mate. And I know you won't comment on that. So,
I don't know.
I'll leave
Thank
that
you.
to me. But onto the Ireland squad, or back to the Ireland squad, I should say. The makeup of it, mate, obviously it's predominantly Leinster. How is it being a Munster player, going in there and having all those lads? I'd imagine it's pretty seamless, but you know, I think from the outset and from the fans' perspective, it might look like there's a bit of beef or anything like that. Is it pretty straightforward?
It really is. Like you nailed it. I think years ago when I first started, like it was probably before I got in there, it was predominantly Munster, and you know, Leinster were just turning the corner and beginning to go on their run of like European Cups and everything else. So I think back then there was a bit of beef. And then when I got in the squad for my career, I think once we started winning with Ireland, it stopped the kind of Munster Leinster, and obviously we've Ulster and Connacht there, but there was a big rivalry with Munster and Leinster, and as soon as we started getting success with Ireland, it kind of all went out the window. You became winning. You can talk about environments and cultures and all that, but winning brings everyone together more than anything, doesn't it? Like you know what I mean? Like celebrating wins together, and you're lucky enough to lift the trophy together. That all it just grows you as a group, and I genuinely believe once we started winning things with Ireland, that kind of beef went. And it's maybe from my perspective, I've been in the squad quite a while, so I know a lot of these Leinster lads pretty well. I'm very good friends with a lot of them. So going into camp is nice, like, you know what I mean? You're going into camp with your friends, and I think we've five from Munster, which is a number we'd like to get up. But like Leinster have been the standard bearers in Europe for the last number of years. Like they're a quality outfit, and you see them at the minute, they're riding high again. So fans and stuff will say there's selection things and this, that and the other, but I think being in camp with them, you can see up close that the Leinster lads are driving the standards, and it makes you want to go into camp and perform, because they're coming off like beating everyone every week, bonus points, and you want to come in and try and live up to their standards. So it's good for everyone else in there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And what about my mate RG, mate, the big Viking, bro? Because that's mental, going from there to there. How did that go down? When did you play? Like 3-4 weeks ago, was it?
Over December, did you see him last night? He came on off the bench, he scored 2 tries. Yeah, he really is, and he seems to be getting a run of like not getting injured. Unfortunately, when he was with us, he got injured a bit, and he's such a top fella. He's a really, really nice guy. I think the Munster fans wanted to keep him, obviously, because he was so good. When we went on and we won the URC 2 seasons ago, we got RG back for like the running, and I think we had like a 90% plus win rate when he was playing. And I don't know. I don't think it was in his hands. You know what I mean? I don't know what the actual makeup was. I know he didn't want to like leave Munster and go to Leinster. It's something in the background that I don't know what the setup was. So as players, we understood it. There's no like ill will or anything. Like we played him, the lads. We played him in Croke Park a good few months ago now, and after the game we were all chatting and everything was fine. You're just kind of jealous now because he's a freak.
There must have been a few subtle digs in there. Come on, mate.
Probably in the pack and the rocks and all. There's probably a bit of chat between people, but no, I think I'm more just like, Jesus, imagine we still had him. Like he is absolutely he's tearing it up. Like he is. I don't know. Is he on for like World Player of the Year at the minute? Like he could be. He's definitely in the conversation. What he's doing.
It's the way he holds the ball. It's literally a piss take, mate. I swear to God,
crazy.
It looks tiny in his hands.
It's mental. And they're that like he. I was watching Leinster game last night, and he caught a line out with his right hand, and then switched to his left, and like gave it down to Jamison, and it was just like it was against his own throw or something. Like it was just like mental kind of stuff, and then he scored a try. He nearly landed on the 5 meter, just reached out and placed it down like try. So there's just. He sucks in 3 or 4 defenders every time. So yeah, I would like to still have him in our team.
Yeah. All right, and someone who's just left the team, or obviously pre-World Cup, your good friend Johnny Sexton. Obviously, you guys have got some brilliant 10s in Prendergast and Crowley. Do the lads miss him? They might not miss him on the training pitch screaming at them, as I've experienced.
I don't miss him screaming at me. I think I've won one argument against Johnny in the hundreds we've had on the pitch. Literally one, and I had to be dead sure I was right. So that side of things, no, but
I love it.
He's something else. Him, great mates. Like he's a legend and a legend of rugby. I think there's pressure on the boys like Prendergast and Crowley and Frawley and whoever else gets a chance. There's always going to be the public, I suppose, are going to be like, oh, Johnny would have done this, Johnny would have done that, which is a big pressure on the shoulders of those boys. They're trying to be themselves, and that's where Andy's so good as well, and Simon will be too, hopefully, in terms of just letting the lads play their own game. And it's like, Johnny's in with us. He was in with us a little bit over November, and hopefully he will be over Six Nations too. So he's passing on knowledge. He gets involved in November. He got involved in a couple of training sessions, and he still has that like narkiness, like proper giving out to lads, and it doesn't leave you. It just doesn't leave you. So lads were giving him a few shoulders and stuff, so it was good to see. Yeah, giving it to him. But no, obviously that's a big hole to fill, and but the boy, like you said, like Sam is flying at it. Leinster and Jack too. Like Jack last night against Northampton, he was class. So that's it's great to see that kind of competition, especially from Munster, obviously. And Sam got ahead of Jack in November, and that would have been a bit of a blow to Jack, and to see him bounce back and play well last night was just nice to see. So there'll be two class out halves battling out for years, I'd imagine.
Yeah, mate, I can imagine you don't miss getting screamed at. I definitely wouldn't. Is he still screaming at you as a coach, or is that's died down now a little bit?
He's just been kind of viewing sessions and coming in with, like, if we're down in units or whatever, but no, not yet. But you would, like, I always felt sorry for wingers, because anytime we got like a penalty, if you weren't flat ready for a cross kick, he'd do the Johnny slap his thighs type thing. Every time. So yeah, I've had a few earfuls off him, but wingers used to always get it, like, all the time.
It's funny, mate, because those ultra competitors are all so similar. Faz can be like that, little Faz that is. Like Fordy could get a little bit like that, a little bit more rare. But then Brownie, mate, these guys who just fight and scrap for every moment of the game.
Biggs as well, Dan Bigger as well was one I noticed. Like he'd start throwing haymakers at forwards, and he did it in South Africa, and I was like, all right, you're one of them as well. Yeah, it's in him, isn't it? It's just like, you can't, like with Johnny, like, yeah.
Nah, there's no reasoning with those guys. Once they're gone, they're gone. Just leave them to it, mate.
Yeah, big time. Like, there's no winning. Like I said, I genuinely won one argument against Johnny, and I had to be so sure I was right. It was, when you throw a ball off the top and you're supposed to hit 12?
Yeah.
So we had a call for that, say, I don't know what it was called, like Apple, say. And Johnny, the 10 is supposed to tell you, and we went through the week and he hadn't told me a few times. I was like, you tell me if it's to 12, because it makes a difference. Like, I'm going to hit you in the side of the head or throw to 12. Yeah. And I was like, wait, because he's organising all the backs, and I was waiting for him to tell me, and like I would always roar. I'd be like, hey, what's the call? Because Earlsy would be on that wing. He'd be like, all you do is like roar at Johnny, and he never tells you the call. So I had a sneaky suspicion that it was like Apple, throw it to 12 or whatever. But if he doesn't tell me, it's to 10. So I rifled the pass and literally whacked him in the side of the head, because he was looking at the 12. And then I was just like, you didn't tell me the fucking call. And I actually had to go a bit more aggressive than that, because like, and then he was just like, oh shit, sorry, like, not shit, he was like, oh sorry, whatever, like, sorry, my bad. And I was like, oh my god, he said sorry.
You went on the offensive. I love it.
Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, but that was only one. Like, he won hundreds more against me. I was like, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you know what you're doing. You're right.
Obviously, mate, you'd have played in so many Six Nations. How many is it now?
Man, someone told me today, I think it's 14.
Oh, mate, that is so impressive. Jesus Christ, fair enough.
It's depressing too, because you're like, it's so long. But no, it's even toward like the last few years, you just soak it in a little bit more, because it's, Six Nations, the buzz around it's so much different to anything. It's just a really cool time of year. So looking forward to probably the 14th and an out one, so I'll be soaking it all up.
Don't do that, mate. I think if I played 14 Six Nations, mate, I'd look like a shrimp. So, mate, fair play to you for doing that. What is your favourite Six Nations memory, though? Like, out of all the 14 you've played, what stands out to you as like, that was the...
I'm not just saying it because I'm chatting to you, but it was the...
Don't say
2018 2018. It has to be. It was St. Patrick's Day, Twickenham, obviously playing you boys, Grand Slam. Like it was made up to be. It was wild.
Now I got a few beefs with that game. Actually, I'll be honest with you. First of all, opening sequence from you boys. You're in our half and you put a bomb on me at fullback. And Rob Carney was at 15 and he knocked it on. And they checked it and did it anyway.
Oh, when we scored?
Yes, mate. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch it.
You've never changed.
50 minutes later, I'm getting carted off with a ruptured Achilles. So... forgive me, mate, if I don't really enjoy that game.
I forgot it was that you got injured in that game. Sorry.
Nah, it's all good,
I'll pick another one if you want, but that was wild.
How many? So you'd have won it 3-4 times?
We've had 5. We've won 2 Grand Slams and 3 titles, 3 Six Nations, 3 championships.
You've got 5.
5, yeah.
Jesus, that is class.
How many? You've
1 Grand Slam, 2, mate. 3 total. Sorry, 1 Grand Slam, 2. It's not 5.
Take that. I
2
know,
Grand
but
Slams is different too.
Do you remember your first one? My first one was a championship in Paris, and I was like, the best thing ever. I was like, if I just win one, then because when you're younger or something, it's like you're watching Six Nations, and it's so. I don't know, is it unattainable in your head or something? It's just it's wild. So yeah, very very fortunate being part of some great teams, great coaches. Be nice to get one more though, wouldn't it? One more and then see you later.
100%.
See you later.
What about the night out after Paris? I bet you that was mental.
Yeah, the first one, crazy. It's so good. Where did we end up? We ended up in some place with a revolving kind of dance floor. Have you ever been there? You've definitely been there. You know Paris well. Yeah, it was just our hotel was like just by just off the Champs-Élysées. You probably stayed somewhere similar, and then you're just in the mixer. You're in the mixer, and you feel on top of the world. You feel like there's nothing better, and you
good. Man, I remember when we won it. Sorry, we walked in to the club or wherever it was, and they started playing Swing Low, Sweet Chariots. It was awful, and then literally
on your request.
Oh, mate, it was bad. And then within 45 minutes, Jack Knowles there doing the Baywatch thing all the way around the flipping revolving. You have some characters in that squad. Mate,
absolutely. Nuts. Was that the slam? Do you win the slam in Paris?
Yeah.
I remember it. Yeah,
it was berserk.
Wow. Yeah. It's that's what you keep coming back for, isn't it? Without getting too sentimental, like. They're the best. That's the best part.
For sure.
Change room afterwards, and then a couple of days of just you've done something class. So hopefully,
code word for getting absolutely written off for 2 days.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It's just an excuse to go out on a 3-dayer at least.
Yeah, 100%. Bro, thanks so much, Conor. Mate, appreciate you. I know
Jed,
this is the last thing you want to do in the day before you go into camp, mate, but it is massively appreciated. And thanks for bearing with me, mate. As I said, this is my first time, and Lenny's really stitched me up here, so appreciate you, bro.
Retirement suits you, my man. Retirement suits you. And congrats on an unbelievable career. I haven't obviously spoken to you since, so class playing with you, man, on the tours and stuff, and even better fella off the pitch. So you'll crush whatever you do next.
Appreciate you, mate. Thanks, mate.
No worries, bye.